I'm Doug from Global West. Thought I'd take a minute here and talk to you about some Corvette lower control arms. This is for 1963 through 82. This is one of our newer models. This is actually the extended travel coilover lower control arm for Corvettes. So let me explain this arm a little bit and what we're talking about when we're saying extended travel coilover. The normal coilover system that you have available for the Corvette right now usually takes a coilover that looks like this. It's got a T-bar, see the T-bar here, on the base. And this shock would actually sit on top of your lower control arm, bolt to originally where the shock was, and then your coilover goes up in here, the spring goes up in the spring pocket. It's conical wound, so it indexes in the top of the frame. Down to 2.5 inch ID here, you've got your adjuster. Like this. And that's pretty much what's out there. The coilover allows you to lower the car down. And by adjusting the rings on the shock here, the spring sits here, and by lowering this down, you can lower the car. Well, one of the problems you have is if you start lowering the car down too far in the coilover, you can actually risk bottoming the shock out. Or you're going to have to go to a very stiff spring not to bottom the shock out. So one of the things we do is we have two ways of getting you lower ride height in the Corvette. The first standard way, which is again using a standard coilover with your stock arm, or we have actually a CTA-31H, which has a shock in the stock location, but it's designed for a coilover. That'll get you down to about 1.25 inches. After 1.25 inches, we want to see you into something else in reference to the amount of travel that you're going to have in the control arm. That's why we built the extended travels. At 1.25 inches drop, you lose a lot of travel in the shock up at the top. So what can happen is over severe bumps or whatever, it is possible to actually bottom the system out. So guys that want to go past 1.25, this control arm, let me tilt it up here for you. If you can see this right here, the pickup points for the shock are actually slightly below the tube here. Where in a normal situation, these mounts would be quite a bit higher up. So what we're doing here is by dropping this here in the control arm, we're actually gaining shock travel. And you're able to lower the Corvette further and still have travel. So what we've done is we call these control arms extended travels, because that's literally what we're doing. We're moving the shock mount down so that you can lower your car down past 1.25 and still have travel in the suspension, basically through the shock and spring. That also reduces the amount of spring tension that I'm going to need to keep you from bottoming, because I'm able to keep it from bottoming on the shock because I have more travel. So here's what we've got. This is a CTA-31EXT. Billet cross shafts, Del-A-Lum bushings. The Del-A-Lum bushing is a 6 bearing surface design. It's got an inter-rotating sleeve, inner and outer thrust washers. It's all hidden inside here. There's no bind. It allows the suspension to move straight up, straight down, no deflection. It's fully lubable. It doesn't squeak. It doesn't create harsh rides. It just simply allows the arm to pivot straight up and straight down, similar to what a bearing would do. We've also taken the opportunity here to widen the bushing area right through here, so we have more surface contact than the stock one. Takes a standard lower ball joint. You could, when the ball joints wear out, eventually they do, you can get this anywhere in the country. Got your bump stop here, your snubber, for a bottoming condition. And then on the lower here, as you can see, we also give you new hardware. So you have your bolts. And this here is a steel sleeve that goes into this area right here. Now, why are we furnishing that? Well, one of the main reasons why we do is because normally when you do a coilover application, which you've purchased already from several different manufacturers, they have a T-bar because that's normally what the car required. We need an eyelet. So we give you this to take the place of this. So you end up looking like this. And then this simply will drop into place through here, run your bolts through, and there you go. So that's why that's furnished. We also give you additional hardware here for the shaft right here. The kit comes pre-assembled, ready to go. We call them Extended Travels, EXTs. CTA-31EXT. When you're lowering your Corvette, especially if you're going past 1 1/4, you need to take a look at these. These will keep you from bottoming out without going to excessive spring rates, and you'll get the ride height you're looking for.